The velocity graph of a car accelerating from rest to a speed of 120 kilometers per hour over a period of 30 seconds is shown in the graph below. Part A asks us to compute the area under this curve from 0 to 30 seconds using right endpoints with 6 subintervals. So if we take a look at our graph, we can see our x-axis, or in this case, our t-axis, is going from 0 to 30 seconds. So that's a distance of 30 seconds. But the problem's asking us to compute the area with 6 subintervals. So if we divide 30 by 6, that tells us that each subinterval will have a length of 5 seconds. So I want us to start by drawing the rectangles on our graph so we can get a visual of what these right endpoint rectangles are going to look like. So I recommend using some different colors for this. I'm going to start with red for my first rectangle. So my first rectangle is going to start at time 0. And then we want it to have a base measurement of 5 seconds. So it's going to go from 0 to 5 seconds. And if it's a right interval, then we use the right-hand side of this interval to determine the height of this rectangle. So the right side of this interval is the 5-second mark. So we're going to take the 5 seconds and go up to our curve, find the intersection where we have 5 seconds, and that y value, that output, will be the height of our first rectangle. So you're just going to do your best to sort of estimate what this y value is. And this is going to be our first rectangle using a right endpoint. So let's go ahead and draw in the second rectangle. So the second rectangle is going to start at 5 seconds. I'm going to make this one blue. It'll go from 5 to 10 seconds because, again, that is going to be a measurement of 5 seconds. The right end point is going to be 10 seconds. So we're going to go up at the 10-second mark, intersect our curve. So it's not quite up to 80, it looks like. And this y value is going to represent the height of our second rectangle. So this blue rectangle is my second rectangle. So the third rectangle is going to start at 10 seconds and go over to 15 seconds. Again, the right endpoint would be the 15 seconds. We go up to our curve, find on the curve the y value or the output at 15 seconds, and that will be the height of my third rectangle. So in the beginning, I think visualizing the individual rectangles can be very handy. You may eventually feel like you can do these problems without the visualization, and that's great. But in the beginning, I think visualizing is a really great idea, and using some color for different rectangles might help as well. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this out. I'm on my fifth rectangle now from 20 over here to 25 seconds. Again, the right side of this interval is 25 seconds, so I'm going up 25 seconds to the curve. Looks like I'm right underneath there and coming across. That y value is the height of my fifth rectangle. And then my last rectangle is going from 25 over to 30. 30 seconds is the right-hand side of that interval, and I'm going all the way up. That one looks to be perfectly on the line. And there's my last rectangle. So my rectangles are going by 5-second increments. Let's take a look at the output, the y-axis, which in this case are those velocities. So it looks like we're going by 20. So 20, 40, we have 60, 80, 100, and 120. And now let's start to compute the area. So we know that the base of each one of these rectangles will be 5 seconds. So I'm going to write my area will be base times height. And again, my base unit here is going to be 5 seconds. And then we're going to multiply it by the height of each of our individual rectangles. Now remember, we could compute base times height for the first rectangle and add that to the base times height of the second rectangle, base times height of the third, and on, like so. But if the base measurement is the same, in this case, 5 seconds, then think about it like factoring out that base measurement, and then you can just add up all of those heights. So basically, to save ourselves some time, We're basically factoring out that base measurement, in this case, the 5 seconds, and therefore we don't have to go base times height for every single rectangle. We can just multiply the 5 and then add up all of the heights. So now let's look at that first rectangle, the one that was spanning from 0 to 5 seconds. We took the right-hand endpoint to determine the height. So I'm going to sort of graph that in yellow here. So this y value is the height of that first rectangle. And we'll just estimate. That looks like it's right between 40 and 60. So I'm going to go ahead and call that 50. So the first rectangle has a height of 50. The second rectangle has a height here, not quite up to 80. So again, this is an estimate. Yours might be slightly off of mine. That is totally fine. Our answers do not have to be perfectly the same because we're just estimating these outputs. So you might call that, let's say maybe 77 or even 78. I'm going to go ahead and just call it 77 for the height of my second rectangle. My third rectangle is not quite up to 100, so maybe I'm going to call that 96. My fourth rectangle here, it also depends on the thickness of the marker or pen or pencil that you're using, looks to be right between 100 and 120. I'll call that 110. My fifth rectangle is not quite up to 120, so maybe I'll call that 118. And then our last rectangle was right at that 120 mark, so the last one would have a height of 120. Now let's pause here for another moment and think about our units. We want to make sure that the units make sense. So the 5 had a unit measurement of 5 seconds. All of these heights are velocities, and those are measured in kilometers per hour on this problem. So we do have a little bit of a problem here because if we multiply seconds by kilometers per hour, notice that these time measurements are not going to divide out because we're not measuring in the same unit of time. So we do need to pause for a second before we make this computation because our units are not going to work out. So rather than changing my kilometers per hour here into kilometers per second, I'm going to choose just to convert my seconds into hours. So let's do that next. 5 seconds is what we have, and we want to convert that into hours. So this almost looks like a little bit of dimensional analysis from your chemistry class. We know that 1 minute has 60 seconds. So therefore, that's going to let us divide out our seconds. So now we would have 5 divided by 60, 5/60ths. That would be the equivalent of 5/60ths of a minute. But we want to go all the way to hours. So therefore, we know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So by converting one more time, our minutes will divide out and we'll be left with a unit measurement of hours. So this means that 5 seconds is really going to be equivalent to 5 divided by 3,600 of an hour. So we'll go back to our original computation. We're going to get rid of this 5 seconds right here and replace it with a measurement that's in hours. So now this is going to be 5 divided by 3,600. And again, the reason why this is going to work is because now when we look at our units, we're going to be multiplying a unit measurement of time, which is measured in hours, by all of those heights, which are velocities, and the velocities are measured in kilometers per hour. So our hours will then divide out and give us a final measurement that is in kilometers. So grab your calculator and let's go ahead and do this summation and then multiply by 5 divided by 3,600. And hopefully you are getting an area of 0.79. And again, the units of measurement are going to be kilometers. So this is going to be a right-hand estimate. We call it an R sub 6, a right-hand estimate with 6 subintervals to compute the area under this curve from 0 to 30 seconds. And lastly, we want to explain the meaning of the value of this context, including those appropriate units. So one more time, remember we're doing area by computing base times height, the area of a bunch of rectangles. The base measurement was originally in seconds, 5 seconds each, but we converted that into hours. So our base measurement is measured in a portion of an hour, and our height is a velocity, which is measured in kilometers per hour. So therefore, when we compute the area, base times height, the hours are going to divide out and give us a final unit of kilometers. So this is telling us that the car traveled 0.79 kilometers in the first 30 seconds. And again, that's an estimate because we did a right-hand estimate. We were eyeballing those heights, but it should be a pretty good estimate. The car traveled 0.79 kilometers in the first 30 seconds.